What's going on, guys? Brandon here. I have a couple swing trade ideas finally coming into play here on the tech side of things. So we're going to go over a couple swing trade ideas here that I like off of Tesla's low bounce here and the news kind of leveling out. First, we're going to take a peek here at Tesla. After this huge bounce it had near the 250 range, had gotten bought up relatively fast here in the last few days. With not much pullback, you can see it was essentially close to a double bottom here down in the 250, 250s range, right? Didn't really know what it was going to do down here, so I wanted to wait till it started back upward on its trend to get kind of strong, because as a cult name, Tesla really likes to whipsaw, as you can see here. But I'm starting to like what we have working right here on Tesla. This downward trend line is on the daily chart, using the red candle slice here. Orange line right here being resistance, 298.50 pretty much. You can see it had a huge push, and then it held real strong here on the 9 and the 288s 2 days ago, and then today as well had a nice big push up into almost 300 and or up into almost 297.90s here, right at this just shy of our resistance line, we'll say. So I'd like to see a healthy pullback a little bit on Tesla. I need a red candle. Our big support being 288.95 here. So if it doesn't continue up and break right through this trend line of resistance, I'd like to see a healthy pullback down to the 9 EMA here, hold our support around this 288.90s level, and move back up, probably test the trend line out here next week a few times before it breaks to the upside. Confirmation obviously is going to be breaking of this 298.50 level, and then hopefully spiking up to at least a 50. So there's going to be lots of points here. I'm going to start a position if I can get a pullback here. It's a little about a half hour in the trading day today, so I'm going to see how it is. I'm not going to buy at the top of this candle, but if we can have a nice healthy pullback through the weekend here and see what it holds, I'd be looking to start a position at the end of this wedge that we got going on here, as long as she holds this blue support line that we have in this channel. So I'd like to see a healthy pullback, come back up, test the trend, break out of this trend line, and have a run to other moving averages up here, specifically to 50. A couple things I want to cover here on Amazon and Apple, right? So I'm going to take a peek at the SPY. The SPY right now, you can see it kind of held trend, got bought back up really fast after it kind of shied this double top yesterday, 291.25 area. After it got bought back up there and staying, pretty savvy on the VWAP here, it's looking a little weak here. I have to see what it does today. It did have that sell-off, but it maintained trend, and what I mean by that is it didn't start closing under this trend line that we have from previous highs, right? So as it came down, it's starting to recover the larger moving averages right here. Does have a huge waves of lower highs, so something to watch out for. Looking to recover, this trend maybe late day here. I'm going to be watching it real hard to see if it can get a pop over here and then hold above this 290.83 level, which happens to be yesterday's close, right? So we're going to try to see it get over yesterday's close, break this trend maybe after hours, and continue. I want to cover Apple and SPY. First, we're going to talk about Apple. Apple hit a $1 trillion mark, obviously very recently, running up to that 229, pulling back hard. So it hit the first $1 trillion company ever, pulls back. It's a little double bottom here from support, comes running back up, creates a lower high, and it's starting to just kind of chop. But right, we got two big buyers candles in the last couple days here. It's getting bought up here, so people think this 220, 250s level is a great discounted buy. Well, we're going to see how long that lasts, because still in a very big lower high downtrend, right? So if we took even another wick from our highs and drew through the bodies of the candles, oops, sorry about that, guys, we would see connecting the high point red candle here to the lower high body of the green. You can see it respected and rejected today. So as you can see today, that would have been our baseline play for the morning here. Short Apple, you would see it come down, come up, you would have drew that trend, you would have known where to take your short position at 226.83 and risked the break of highs, right? So you had about a point risk there. Anyway, if we do happen to start holding this 222.50s, which again you can see had a nice bounce today, it's just starting to get to our intraday trend line here. See what it's going to do off of this pre-market line that I got here. It's about a half hour, 20 minutes left now. But after it hit, the reason I want to compare these correlations here with Apple and Amazon, after it did hit $1 trillion, nobody's going to buy over the trillion company. It's just all that hype buy all the way up to trillion and had a massive pullback, right? And then it had a nice big bounce. Apple's looking good if it holds this 222.50s area. I'd like to see what it does chops down into this wedge, start to break out of the pattern and test highs again, give us either another lower high. Looks like a good bullish swing though. Does look strong still. It is channeling, but you get a little wicky on the days. But if it holds this this hard support here, 222.50s, I'm going to be adding positions here to the long side on Apple. Amazon, I know it's very expensive stock, but as you can see, even I could even move this one over right here. Between the two here, the daily chart on Amazon, daily chart on Apple, you could see how when Apple came up, did its kind of $1 trillion touch, all the hype died out, everybody took their profits, had a nice bounce. Well, Amazon, exact same thing, not quite as high, but hit the $1 trillion mark, came back down, had nice support, broke up out of the trend, had a fail, and now it's on a small downtrend, right? It is holding this downtrend, so as long as it puts in these lows as we go, I'm going to be looking to start swinging Amazon because I feel like it's going to have a nice comeback like Apple did, most likely in options because it's of the price. But if you just throw a quick support line there, you can see all the interactions at this level at 1962.20s right through the last week here, and it's had a ton of support bounces here. Broke a little bit today, but it's grinding back up under the major moving averages. So this is getting in a downtrend. So this is just a watch right now. Okay, we're going to see how the 1962s play out at this point in time. It does look like it's going to continue downward, but there is going to be a slew of profit takers. Just we're going to ride the wave down right now. So every time this pops up into the major moving averages, now that we broke under the 200, it's a watch to pull back. We're gonna look for the recovery of the 200. That's the dark blue, light blue. Right here in VWAP. She shied VWAP all day yesterday, tried it all day today. So on this downtrend, we're going to start looking for it to come riding down this line, on the daily and the 4-hour chart. Right here, he hit support, he had a big dump, but come back up, it's going to hit its head on the channel, it's going to ride this line down, and eventually it's going to find some good support. It does have major support down the 1920s. I don't think it's going to get that far down. I think it's going to be somewhere in the 1950s range, right? Where we're going to start consolidating, moving forward, then moving back up. That's if the SPY, works with us. As we did talk about the SPY here, it does have, a little lower high here on the double top, but it is getting bought back up and respecting that trend. So if it does continue to get back up, if we move, it could be good for both plays. So something to watch very closely on those two. I can cover AMD a little bit here. Obviously very whipsaw. The daily chart looks like little bull flags on the 9 all the way up, and then we have these big, big body candles. Nobody knows really what's going on here. The volatility is just up, down, up, down. Right now I do have some put swings on this. The double top of 33. Obvious resistance from pre-market a few days ago after that huge gap up. That's where you want to start looking. You'll always use your pre-market values, right? So I did grab some puts on the second here. I've been riding this down. I don't know if I'm going to hold them through. I'm going to watch it at the end of the day because this very well could continue higher. You don't have a very strong day, but I'm hoping this lower high continues to the downside. I might swing a couple contracts, not a huge risk. So that's what I got for you today. See you guys Monday morning.